In this video, we will show you how to properly synchronize this equipment, taking into account all the procedures recommended by the manufacturer in order to get the most out of its performance. Indeed, there are 3 steps to be performed, necessarily in this order: synchronizing the forks with the plunger, and synchronizing the needles with the plunger. Forks synchronization. In short, the function of the forks, which are 2 in number on this machine, is to introduce the material collected by the pickup into the pressing chamber. The movement of both must be perfectly synchronized in order to avoid collision between them, which would cause serious damage to the equipment. Note in this image the desired synchronization of the forks. For a better visualization and operation of this procedure, start by removing the protective cover of the forks. Next, remove the protective cover from the cardan shaft. Lift and fix the hood up. Remove the 2 side protections. Open the rear cover and release the chain tensioner. Using your hands, turn the flywheel in the direction of the arrow in order to better position the chain links for removal. Remove the link and remove the chain. Remove the cardan shaft. Carefully lift the first fork close to its upper limit of movement and insert the support pin, supplied with the machine, into the lower hole of the crank. Screw it properly and lower the crank so that the support pin rests on the machine's casing. This is the adjustment point for the fork. Repeat the process on the other fork. This is the position of the forks to start synchronization. After installing the support pins, the cranks of both forks should be positioned as follows. Reassemble the chain without removing the fork from their previous position and without stretching it yet. Reposition the chain so that the joint is as close as possible to the tensioner. This is important so that the fork does not get out of adjustment when we tighten the chain. Replace the cardan shaft, starting from the side of the gearbox and then on the fork shaft. Remove the fork support pins. There is a small movement of the forks, exactly so that the pins can be extracted, and this is only possible because we have not yet tightened the chain. Finally, tension the chain using its tensioner. Synchronization of the fork with the plunger. Using your hands, turn the flywheel in the direction of the arrow until the fork crank. Right side, front view, is positioned horizontally during the lowering process. At this point, the crank on the other fork will be in the vertical position. Using a support on the crank, right side front view, lock the fork in position. They should remain locked for the rest of the procedure. Remove the cardan shaft from the machine. Using your hands, turn the flywheel in the direction of the arrow until the crank of the sprocket is aligned with the edge of the pressing channel, as shown in the image. Replace the cardan shaft starting from the side of the gearbox and then on the fork shaft. When replacing the cardan shaft, be careful that the crank and the forks remain in the adjusted positions. Finally, remove the shim from the crank and the fork. Synchronization of the needles with the plunger. Lift the rear and knotter covers. While an assistant turns the flywheel in the direction of the arrow, observe the turning of the knotter bevel gear. Stop turning until the bolts on this gear are clearly visible on both sides, as shown in this image. Using a 10mm Allen key, remove the bolt on the right and loosen the one on the left without removing it from the gear yet. Unlock the knotter. To do this, turn the flywheel by hand in the direction shown until the knotter control arm is unlocked. Again, turn the flywheel in the direction of the arrow so that the needles rise to the pressing chamber. Stop turning when the needles reach the position shown in the image, which represents a distance of 6 millimeters. After this, remove the bolt from the gear that we had loosened, which will stop transmitting movement to the needles, leaving them in the position they are at. If the bolt is inaccessible, the procedure should be interrupted, and the following steps should be carried out. Turn the flywheel so that the bolt is in the middle of the accessible area. Remove the bolt. Replace it in the second hole, above or below the position it was in. Choose the one that most closely matches the back hole. However, to do this, you will need to slowly move the flywheel until the chosen hole perfectly matches the hole in the bevel gear. After replacing the bolt, restart the needle movement process, aiming to get them to the right position. Stop moving when the needles reach a measurement of 6 millimeters. After this, remove the bolt from the gear, which will stop transmitting movement to the needles, leaving them in the position they are at. Again, turn the flywheel with your hands and in the direction of until the plunger reaches the beginning of the pressing chamber and begins to return in the compacting direction. Pay attention to the adjustment point, which will be when the plunger passes the tip of the needles by 20 to 25 millimeters, as shown in the image. With the plunger at this point, and without moving it from this position, replace the 2 Allen bolts in the bevel gear of the knotter, finishing this process. And so, we finish another quick operational guide. We hope you have enjoyed it. See you in the next video.